Christian Horner, the man who built Red Bull into an empire, who never missed a single race in 2 decades, who took an energy drink and turned it into an F1 dynasty. Now, he's been dumped, not resigned, not stepped down, fired, with immediate effect. Like Bernie Ecclestone said, it's like he murdered somebody. But here's what nobody's telling you. Christian Horner isn't done. Actually, he may be orchestrating the most planned, explosive return in recent F1 history. So strap yourself in, because it's not just about the fall of one man. It's about revenge, power, and the terrifying possibility that Red Bull just created their own worst enemy. Smash that like button. Not because the algorithm demands it, but because this is the real F1 drama they're trying to bury beneath PR statements. Topic 1. Gardening leave or tactical exile. Horner isn't fading into the background. No time with family. No golf course retreat. He's probably on gardening leave, the subtle F1 way of saying, sit down, shut up, and don't spill our secrets. Why? Because this chap has it all. 2026 engine plans, staff deals, technical pipelines, aerodynamic information, budget splits. He's got Red Bull inside out, and that frightens them. But here's where it gets interesting. Horner's not just waiting for time to pass. He's building a counterattack, and 2 targets are in his crosshairs: Ferrari and Alpine. Ferrari's interest isn't new. They've sniffed around before. But the politics, the language, the relocation, it's a red maze. Which brings us to Alpine, the most underrated power play in this whole saga. Let's paint the picture. They're leaderless. Briatore is back in the shadows. Steve Nielsen is stepping in, but he's never led a team. Now picture this. Christian Horner enters Enstone, takes over Alpine, rebuilds from the ground up, and makes Red Bull's discard its greatest threat. Now that's poetic. That's revenge, scripted in lap times. Let's end the charade. This is a routine sacking. You don't sack the architect of your legacy for no reason, unless the reason is a power struggle. Horner versus Marko. Horner versus Verstappen Sr. Horner versus the very DNA of a team that forgot who made them champions. Let's not forget, Max's loyalty always leaned toward Marko, and the moment Max's future was questioned, Horner was out. So ask yourself, was this Red Bull's way of keeping Verstappen? Or was this Horner getting out before the ship begins to crack? Because here's the thing people tend to forget. Red Bull's success wasn't Max alone. It wasn't Newey alone. It was Horner, the politician, the strategist, the tactician. Benched, but still plotting. And when that gardening leave ends, you better believe he's not joining a Netflix series. He's coming back for blood. How does a man who led Red Bull to 14 world titles, who sat on the F1 throne for 2 decades, who never missed a single race, get sacked overnight without a reason? No leaks, no press conference, no explanation, just silence and a bullet to the back. And now Bernie Ecclestone. Yes, Bernie, the godfather of Formula One, has broken that silence. And he's not defending his old friend. He's calling him out. He was 50 and believed he was 20. He was just an idiot. So, what did Christian Horner do to earn this public stoning and a Red Bull pink slip? Let's break down the backroom deals, the internal wars, and the power plays that finally toppled the F1 kingpin. And hey, if you're tired of corporate PR and crave the real story behind Formula One's biggest names, hit that like button like Verstappen hits pole position. It fuels this channel like Red Bull used to fuel Horner's empire. Topic 1. Was this the fall of Red Bull's empire, or just Horner's ego? Let's begin with the bad news. Christian Horner wasn't sacked due to poor results. Yes, Red Bull fell to P3 in 2024, and they're P4 today in 2025, but this is a man who won 8 drivers' titles. He brought 21 victories out of 22 races in 2023. You don't let that guy go unless there's something else that's wrong. There wasn't a problem with the car, Bernie said. It wasn't Paddock politics. It was Christian Horner himself. He behaved as if it was the Christian Horner ring. Let that one absorb. We're dealing with a man who became too powerful, too self-encapsulated, too invulnerable. He ceased to be a team boss and began to behave like a king. And Red Bull? They turned a blind eye until the victories ceased. And then came the actual catalyst, the probe. Horner was accused of misconduct by a staffer. 2 internal probes cleared him, but the harm had been done. Sponsors were monitoring, fans were whispering, and within the team, tie ownership support, Horner's final line of defense, started to crumble. It was not merely a scandal, it was a time bomb ticking. And when Horner doubled down and refused to give up being the CEO, when he would not share the reins, Red Bull pulled the plug. Topic 2. What Bernie's brutal honesty really tells us. Now here's where it gets explosive. Bernie Ecclestone didn't need to say anything. He could have come in and defended Horner, could have termed it a misunderstanding, but instead, he spoke what no one else dared to speak aloud. He got away with too much, and when the wind stopped, people began looking. That is, Horner's authority shielded him until it did not. Let's discuss. If you're Red Bull and your golden boy may be leaving for Mercedes, what do? You clean house. Make no mistake, this wasn't about justice. This was a matter of self-preservation. Red Bull didn't merely sack Horner. They offered him up as a sacrifice. And what about Bernie? He'll understand perfectly what that is. He's had it done to him before. That's why he made the comment he did. Consider that for a moment. Christian Horner, the builder of Red Bull into a Formula One dynasty, didn't merely lose his job. He was deleted, shut up, disarmed, but at a price, £50 million, perhaps even £60 million, when you include bonuses, image rights, and hush clauses. That isn't a payoff. That isn't thanks. That's a payoff. So do ask yourself, what could possibly be worth so much silence? And why is one of the most influential men in F1 now a free agent, carrying a blank check and an axe to grind? If you're ready for a listen of what Sky Sports won't say and Red Bull doesn't want leaked, hit that like button, like Verstappen hits qualifying laps. This is not PR. This is real. Let's reveal the curtain on the costliest sacking in F1 history. Topic 1. Horner's £50 million golden handcuffs. What Red Bull is really purchasing. Let's crunch the numbers. Christian Horner's deal expired in 2030. In the year 2023 alone, he was reportedly paid £8.9 million. That figure must have increased in 2024 on the back of Verstappen's championship. What is a clean break then? A mountain of money. Payouts of £50 to £60 million. But that money isn't to pay him his salary. It's to tie his hands. Because Horner didn't only operate the team, he was the team. He understands every engine spec coming in 2026, every technical recruit, every sponsorship agreement. He hired Visa and Cash App. He made backroom deals nobody even knows about yet. You don't let a man like that walk to Ferrari or Alpine without tying him down with gardening leave and NDA clauses thicker than Red Bull's front wing. This wasn't a send-off. It was a containment operation. Red Bull is buying time. Time to reorganize. Time to keep their secrets safe. Time to prevent him from becoming their greatest threat. Topic 2. The quiet coup. How ownership changes, Verstappen pressure, and a fading godfather took down Horner. Everyone's asking, why now? Let me share with you 3 reasons Red Bull went nuclear. Number 1. Ownership power shift. Until recently, Chilaram Uvadia, from the Thai side, had Horner's back. But last May, a 2% stake was sold out of his control. Small on paper, huge in reality. All of a sudden, Horner was vulnerable. No protection, no leverage. And once you lose cover at that level, you're disposable. Number 2. Verstappen's exit clause. There's genuine word that Horner had to go for Max to remain. So if you're Red Bull, who do you support? Your 4-time world champion with years to go, or your 51-year-old boss constantly in the media crosshairs? Number 3. Bernie's harsh comments. Even Bernie Ecclestone, Horner's former friend, turned against him. He was a 50-year-old who believed he was 20. Just an idiot. Let that saying ring. Bernie's not new to scandal. If he's accusing you of being reckless, something very real, very serious went down. We might never know what. And that's the point. Because the £50 million is doing its job. Silence money, time money, peace money, before the next war.